Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, January the 18th. It's good to have you with us today. We're going to talk about something on the bright side. We have John Murray with us, University Concert Series, and there's a lot going on with the University Concert Series this year, right?
There is. That's, the first year we've had Jesse Auditorium back online after the renovation.
How does that feel?
Oh, it feels great. It feels really good to be able to do the big production shows.
Yeah, because when you were out of Jesse for that year, not taking anything away from the Missouri Theater.
Oh, no, of course.
But the Missouri Theater stage could not accommodate shows like Mamma Mia that
That's
you had
right.
the year before that.
That's right.
So what have you got on tap for this year?
Well, so in Jesse, to take advantage of the larger facilities in the production space, we're bringing the Broadway musical Annie later in the year, Russian ballet Swan Lake in May. That's big production, and when you can see Russian ballet dancers on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
We did them for the Nutcracker last year in Missouri Theater, and they just have to tone everything down so much because the stage is so small. They're just fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, but we start our spring season in a couple of days with a tribute to the Carpenters.
How nice.
Yeah, it's really a sweet little, it's a woman, Lisa Rock, who's a very talented singer who has been doing this for many, many years. And
So
they just do the music as it was written.
She's doing, so it's an entire tribute to the Carpenters.
That's right.
As far as the music background, is it
Live band.
a live band? Does she sound like Karen Carpenter?
She does. She does. You can see her on YouTube. There are videos out there that you can see, and she's really.
And what about Brother Richard?
Well, he's in multiple different players in the band. I mean, he doesn't. There's no real story to the show. It's really just
music.
A
It's
concert.
the music.
Yeah.
So and is this a traveling performance?
It is, absolutely.
Okay, so that opens when?
That is January 20th.
And that is the first production of the season.
That's the first production of the spring. We really start the spring. I know it's still winter, but it's the spring semester. So we start off with a pretty big bang with several shows kind of back to back.
Okay.
We do the Carpenters, and then we do Odd Squad Live.
What is that?
Odd Squad is a PBS children's show. It's kind of like a CSI, but they solve crimes with math and science, apparently. I don't have kids, so I don't know. But it's very well produced, and we'll do an educational performance for schools. We'll bus them in during the day, and they'll see the show for free.
Will this be at Jesse also?
This will be at Missouri Theater.
Okay.
And the Carpenters is also at Missouri Theater.
Oh, the Carpenters at the Missouri
Right.
Theater too.
So it's
because
gonna
it's
be-
not quite as a big a production.
Right, it's going to be a nice, intimate
Okay.
Carpenter show.
So then after that you have.
After that, we do go back to Jesse with the St. Louis Symphony. We've had them the past couple of years, or since we've acquired the Missouri Theater, we've been doing them in the Missouri Theater because the acoustics are better for classical music in the Missouri than in Jesse. Well, this year, they have to squeeze down. They can't bring as big an orchestra with them. This year, the program they want to play requires the full orchestra. So we're going to do the full St. Louis Symphony
How many
Orchestra.
people?
Paul, you stumped me. I don't know.
But a lot. A lot of them.
And Maestro David Robertson will be conducting them, and he's their primary conductor. So
what you're saying is you will have the entire St. Louis Symphony Orchestra.
that's right. It's big band.
Okay, all right.
And Raising Cain in the Missouri Theater on the day before, actually. Raising Cain is Harlem Renaissance Odyssey, a one-woman show starring Jasmine Guy. Do you recognize the name Jasmine Guy?
Yes.
Wonderful actress. She was in the sequel to The Cosby Show about a historically black university. Whitney, she played. People will recognize that
You know, it's
name.
amazing in fact, you really do have a fantastic lineup.
We do.
And
we're just into the first week of February.
right, you haven't even gotten into. How many performances do you have going all year long?
We average around 40 with both theaters open.
40 performances. That's almost one a week.
That's
Not quite. Some
right.
you have two a week.
Right, we do. We try to spread them out because we don't want to wear our fans out, but
Do you have some people that come to every single production?
we do. Not many. You know, people tend to pick and choose based on their preferences.
Yeah.
Our classical music concerts, we have people who will come to all of
To
the
every
classical,
one of the classical music
Broadway,
concerts.
the Broadway shows, people will come to all of those.
Yeah.
But then we do have a small handful of people who come to every concert.
Okay, so would you say the biggest Broadway show you have is Annie this year?
Yes. Annie is the biggest Broadway show we'll be doing this year because of the children in the show, the dog, all of the
Will
scenery.
any of the performers, will any of the children be local, or do they all, are they all part of the traveling troupe?
They all travel with the troupe. The troupe, has provisions in their contract that we have to provide classroom space for them to do their tutoring during the day because they're real children.
Yeah.
And
So when a show like Annie comes here, let's talk about that for a minute, because that's really almost a logistic nightmare.
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah, it is. When I drove up, when you were doing Mamma Mia a couple of years ago, and you see all of those tractor trailers parked out back, and you realize, my goodness, this is like a small town that they're transporting across the country.
That's absolutely correct.
So when Annie comes to town, and you have to have provisions for the kids to go to school during the day, how far in advance are they getting here?
They actually don't arrive until the day of the show.
But they have to go to school that day.
But they have to go to school that day.
Well, when do you do the rehearsing then?
They don't require very much rehearsal.
Because they know it.
They know it. They've done it a few times. So the bulk of the day, we start loading in the scenery for the show at 8 a.m. with 50 to 60 hands working to unload the 3 or 4 trucks of scenery and lights. And we build that all day until about 5 o'clock when the cast arrives in the theater and does their sound check. And they do a sound check.
They don't actually go through the whole show.
Oh, no. If there are... Jesse is still smaller than many performing arts center stages, so they still usually have to cut a few things or rearrange a few things.
So they do their sound check, and then they know the show so well, when the curtain goes up, they do the show.
It's on.
Yeah, and then they tear it down right after the show.
And then at the end of the night, we tear it down until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then all of my staff and our contracted labor go home to sleep, and they get on a bus and go somewhere else to start again the next day.
And those tractor trailers pull out the next day.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they're usually loading in somewhere else the next day at 8 a.m.
Oh, my goodness. What a life that is. But if you want more information, there's a lot going on with the University Concert Series. The web address is?
Concertseries.org.
Okay. Concertseries.org, and you've got everything on there for the entire year.
Absolutely.
John Murray, thank you so much for coming by. Please come back again and keep us posted, will you?
Absolutely.
You're a
Will
good
do,
guest.
Paul.
All right, tomorrow, Melanie Kanoki will be on with us talking about the planetarium at Rockbridge. Want to remind you, our program is directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director, Maggie Noble, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. And if there is something you would like to see or hear, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu.